What's up, everybody? The Yak Man here. It's Christmas time here in Arkansas, and it's a nice Christmas sweater. And I guess it's Christmas time everywhere because it's December. Makes sense. This is my first video on YouTube, and today we're going to be putting a trolling motor on the Outlaw 11.5. Let's get started. So there's a few different things you're going to need when you get started on this. You can see here we've got our gear tracks already connected. I'll show you a little bit more on that in a second. Those are the gear track. Hang on, I've got stuff in my hand. One sec. Those are the gear track 175 from Yak Attack. That's this. This is a 12-inch version. You can see there it's nice and sturdy. It is metal, so super sturdy stainless steel. This is a 12-inch version, like I said. These on here are the 8-inch. Those are the only ones that'll fit correctly. Now, I went the extra mile just to give it a little bit more rigidity. This is the backing plate for the GT 175 tracks. You can see that there. So that goes on the inside of the kayak. That is this here on top, like that. Sandwiched is the kayak, and then this goes in the bottom. This is screwed here, so you just screw right into this. And what that does is takes the weight and the tension off the actual kayak, because that way, since it's screwed right into this, it'll be pulling on this and not just pulling on an individual bolt, which saves the kayak from cracking or pulling a bolt out, losing your motor in the water. So we've also got the T-bolts here, 2-inch T-bolts. Make sure they're 2 inches so they're long enough to fit through the piece of wood you got. They go right into these, slide in. You have a hole in the wood, it'll plop right on top. And then I got these low pro wing knobs just to keep it in the Yak Attack name. You can get just, basic washer or bolts or anything like that from, Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever. But I wanted to keep it all Yak Attack just for the sake of keeping it Yak Attack. We got yaks here. So low pro wing knob, T-bolts, gear track. You don't have to use the backing plate. I just wanted to do that just to make it a little bit sturdier. All right, bringing it outside now so we can cut our wood. First thing you want to do, obviously, is measure your wood. All Outlaws measure the same. We got 11 inches for the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that first, since that is the longest portion. Boom, board cut. This is the bottom portion, that's 11 inches. So the trick is cutting in the angle of it. The top is only 6.5 inches, so it's almost half the size. So you gotta figure out the cut there. The height is 8.5. I think this is 9-inch, so I gotta cut, half an inch off of this first. Boom, wood cut. What I went and did, it's 6.5 on top, so I measured 2.25 inches from both sides. That should give us the perfect angle. Bam, we got our perfect transom board. Fits like a glove. Boom, right there. And then of course you're gonna wanna cut out your piece on top. All right, so as you can see, we got them screwed on. I do also have these L brackets just to give it a little bit more reinforcement. Gonna put them on about right there. Does hang off the edge, but that doesn't really matter that much. So we got the L brackets put on. Looking pretty good, pretty sharp. Hangs over a little bit. I did them a little sketchy, honestly. It's a little iffy. Now, one of the harder parts is figuring out where to put your holes through here for the T-bolts to make sure you got them on right. And there you have it. I had to take the L brackets off because, as you can tell, the spot I put them on interfered with these here, so I'll have to reattach those a little more towards the middle here. But that's about it. Took me a couple tries here, only 2 though. Got it pretty good. And I mean, as you can tell, I'm shaking this thing pretty good and it's not moving at all. So this is on a stand, so it's a little sketchy, but as you can tell, I'm kind of pulling almost all my weight. That ain't going anywhere. I might not even need the L brackets. Final step, cosmetic, not necessary, but you want to look nice on the water, don't you? Alrighty guys, there is the final piece, nice and dry, got a little glossy finish to it. Now, the benefit of having these tracks on here is that they come out wider. So if these bolts, they're not super tight, but if they, loosen up, maybe they are super tight. If they loosen up to the point, where they're kind of wiggling, it won't ever fall off because it can't come out with the width. Now I'm guessing y'all want to see the finale here with the trolling motor attached, so let's slap that on here. And there you have it, the trolling motor on there. As you can tell, it's leaning a little bit on here, so it kind of is pushing it up. You can tell it's got a little bit upwards facing, so that might be an issue. I might have to just take these here, move them back just a tad bit, but it works out pretty well. Well, I'll be taking her on the water soon to test her out. And now I'm sure you're all wondering, how in the world am I going to steer at just a speed on this thing? Because obviously the seat sits right here. I'm not going to be leaning back. So let me show you guys what we got. All right, so this is what we got. A tiller extender with a U-joint on it. You see it's got quite the amount of length here. I think it goes up to 54 inches. You can sit right here on the chair, turn it, and this also can adjust the speed. It does lay in one of your holders here. I usually only take out 3 rods, so it works out for me having it right here, and you can still do that pretty easy. They're only about 56 bucks on Amazon. I will leave a link in the description for these here. Well, there you have it. Trolling motor setup on an Outlaw 11.5. All the links to everything I mentioned will be in the description. Have a good one, and stick around for more tips, tutorials, tricks, how-tos, you name it. I'll be here. Thanks for joining.